Hello, my name is Alex Heromenko from the Pirate Party. Today I would like to talk to you about municipalities in Finland. Many people with foreign background do not know that municipality power in Finland is affecting their lives in many ways that they would not even expect. In this video, or rather a video series, I would like to describe what are the municipalities, what is their role in Finland, and how they are governed, how the decisions are made, and most importantly, what decisions are made in municipalities, how they affect your life, and how you make sure that whatever decisions are made by your municipality are in your favor. So, what are the main goals of municipality? According to Finnish legislation, municipalities shall advance the well-being of their residents and the vitality of their respective areas, and shall arrange services for their residents in a way that is financially, socially, and environmentally sustainable. This is a quote from non-official translation of Local Government Act of Finland. So, to summarize what municipalities do in Finland, first and foremost, they organize mandatory and voluntary or extra services to their residents. They advance well-being of the region and health services for residents. And they must produce sustainable governance so that whatever happens in the next 5 or 10 years can be reproduced and that situation can go on, and not that you use all resources available to you in just 1 year and then you're left with nothing. So, what is the difference between central government and municipal power in Finland? First of all, the municipalities are self-governed. They do not report to central government. They only report to the electors or residents of the area, the legislation that is posted by central government, and some directives that define the minimal standards for the services that municipality must provide. And it is important to note here that those standards define only the minimal level, and municipalities, on top of that, can provide any additional services they need or specify that the quality of the provided services must be higher. Another important factor of self-governance is that municipality makes its own decisions, and those include decisions on how the municipality is governed, what corporate entities should be formed, and in which market activities entities should be participating, or whether some services should be outsourced completely to a private company, for example. And they are also charged with supervision of the provided services and their quality. They are not the only body in Finland that supervises the quality, but they have that as a part of their duties. Another important part of independence from central government is that municipalities have their own financing sources. Only a small fraction of expenditure by municipalities is actually covered by central government. The rest comes from taxes on personal income and corporate income of the corporations resident in the area. This independence however, is not absolute, as central government has responsibility to oversee the legality of actions by municipality and also, in some aspects, oversee the quality of services provided by municipalities. So, what services are provided in municipality? I will use Lappeenranta, in which I live, as an example here. Out of the many others, for example, Lappeenranta oversees such companies as Villiparkki Oy, which is managing parking lots in the city center or around the city. Lappeenrannan Kuntakiinteistöt Oy, which supervises all municipality-owned properties. Lappeenrannan Toimitilat Oy, which provides office spaces. And Lappeenrannan Energia Oy, which is a concern that includes several companies that are responsible for distribution and production of electricity and heat to power the residences and industries in the area. So, as you can see, municipalities quite a lot of tasks on their hands. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The real impact of municipalities covers libraries, daycares, schools, and pretty much all social welfare that you can imagine within the region. Now you probably would like to know who is responsible for overseeing this and how your municipality might be structured, for example. We all have heard that there are municipal councils which are elected every 4 years, but what happens afterwards when these people are assembled for the first time? The principles of operation of municipality are defined in so-called management rules. This management rules is a document that is accepted by municipal council, and this management document provides information on how government of particular municipality is structured. For the core structure, there are several forms. The biggest difference between them is that some municipalities are inherently urban ones and then others are cities. So there is a difference between these two core groups of municipalities. And then another important difference is privilege to be on the board of certain companies. For example, in some municipalities, only members of the council can take positions on the board of companies that are owned by municipality, while in the other municipalities, these positions can be appointed from other people groups, for example, deputies of those elected councillors or third parties, which are not part of the council at all. The most typical structure for a city municipality is council elected mayor plus executive board, or hallinto in Finnish, and the council itself. The functions between these three bodies are typically distributed in accordance to the management rules and legislation, and they are typically accepted on the first meeting of the council after being elected and are valid for the whole term of the elected council. There is also a union of municipal councils. This organization provides templates for the management rules for the councils so that their work is based on some well-accepted practices. Let's talk a little bit about the distribution of roles. For example, in Lappeenranta, the city government manages the city operations, administration and economy. The mayor, being responsible to the city government, manages city administration, financial management and other activities. Also, mayor acts as reporter of the city government and is responsible for preparing matters for the city government. At the same time, council is responsible to providing strategy for the municipality in the so-called strategy plan. Also, municipal council is responsible for financial planning, approval of budget, and other important decisions such as large investments. As I mentioned before, municipality is mostly independent in its finances, and its main income sources can be distributed into four groups. The first group is income tax on incomes of the residents of the municipality. Typically, these are around 20% of the income, but there are large deductions for the low income. So for the average earner, the tax rate begins at around 10% and then goes up from there. The second income source is corporate income tax from the corporations that reside in the municipality. Every corporation in Finland must declare at least one municipality as their home municipality, and in this way the income from corporations is distributed between municipalities. In addition to that, municipality-owned companies may charge residents some fees for the services they provide. For example, if you will go and apply for a building permit, you will have to pay the building permit fee. For example, if you have electricity connection, you will have to pay electricity transfer fee. Both of those are going to municipality-owned companies or municipality-controlled organizations such as Building Supervision Authority. Finally, in order to make municipalities a little bit more equal, because for example, municipalities around Helsinki will have stronger attraction for businesses and corporations, so that they will have more corporate income tax, and other municipalities that are allocated in the rural areas will have less of that. There are transfers from government budget that are designed to make the situation more equal. For example, in Lappeenranta, the transfer from the government covers around 26% of all municipal expenses. For the rest of the expenses, however, Lappeenranta has to collect taxes, and in 2019 the taxes amounted to 4,069 euro per capita. That includes people who are not in the labor force, so children and elderly people. Now, the most important question you might be asking, well, if I pay all this money, where does it go? And how can I make sure that it goes the way I want and that the money is spent on the things I need? So the first and the most important step is that every 4 years there are elections of municipal councils. The next one are coming this year in about 2 months. And every time you vote in such elections, you appoint people who will supervise the government, who will define the management rules, who will control how the services are provided, and in some cases you will appoint the only people who will have the right to sit on the boards of the companies who are providing the services, such as electricity distribution companies in your municipality. So whenever you make such decision, you must ask your potential candidate what they are planning to do with this power and how they are going to vote, for example, for increasing or decreasing price of electricity transfer or heating costs in your municipality, whether they support building more schools or less schools, whether they think that schools are well maintained or whether they need some extra money, whether your social care services such as daycare and care for elderly people is provided to a standard, or that more can be done in addition to what is required by government of the Republic. And once you know the opinions of different candidates, you can choose the one that fits your personal views most. Remember, whenever you make such choice, you delegate your power to rule over this municipality and your power to decide what to do with this money. During the term of the council, you are also not completely powerless. In many municipalities, and actually part of this activity is mandated by law, there are several councils that you can participate in. Those are advisory councils, so they only have opinion right, but they can still influence the decisions on a larger scale. The examples of such councils are the Youth Council, the Elderly Council, and Disabled People Councils. These three are mandated by law and must be present in every municipality. So if you belong to any of these groups, you can go and participate and make sure that your social group, which is typically a group that is vulnerable, is not in any way oppressed, that social welfare is provided to your group to the standards that you require. In addition to these three, there are also typically local area councils. For example, in Lappeenranta there are several councils that cover different parts of the city, and residents who live in those areas might participate in the activities of those councils and provide their opinions on such matters as changing zoning and building plans in the areas where they live, for example, to prevent replacement of parks and green areas with residential buildings, and also to report whether the quality of services in the local area is up to a standard. For example, if you feel like your area's schools are not very well performing and that they are underfunded, and you have very good reasons to request more money for school or build a new school in your area or a daycare center, then you can use these local councils to inform city that there is a problem in your area. Finally, every resident who is an eligible voter has also the right to submit resident initiatives in municipality. These are mostly free-form messages in which you can describe what are your problems, what would you like to see in the city, and otherwise request attention of the council. These initiatives are handled by the executive branch of the municipality, so the government, the hallinto, will take care of them first, but at the same time these initiatives will be also reported to the council at least once a year, and the government will report what they have done to handle these initiatives, what measures have been taken, what responses have been made, and what was otherwise the outcome of this request. So to summarize, take your time to make a good research about the candidates you are going to vote for, because these people will define the life in your municipality in the next 4 years. And what about you? What you would like to know about the municipalities, their roles, financing, and the way they operate? Please ask your questions in the comments, and I will try to answer them to the best of my abilities. And also, if you like this video, like it, subscribe to this channel if you would like to hear more about municipalities and life of municipal government in Finland. Or if you live in Lappeenranta, feel free to ask me questions about Lappeenranta. Otherwise, thank you for your attention and see you next time.